I'm Dave Rigger, voice of the Griffons, with Matt Williamson, head football coach at Missouri Western. National Signing Day today. Griffons add 29 student athletes, 26 are high school seniors, 3 transfers. I guess in general, just your thoughts on this class in 2021.
We got 3 more coming, Dave. We got 3 more coming.
I bet there's more than 3.
No, it was good. Today's always, it's fun. It's a blast. Getting to know these kids, working with them for the last 6 months, and all of a sudden making it official. Getting married, putting the ring on the finger is what we kind of call it. And it was really, really good. And we're really excited about the class. We got a ton of great athletes, great students, and just great human beings. And it's going to just fortify our program even more, and continue the success that we had, and then continue it for a long time.
With the pandemic going on, how challenging was it to recruit this class? Some didn't even have high school football seasons as seniors, and obviously the recruiting restrictions were different this year. How challenging was it to recruit this class?
It's crazy. First of all, the first thing I can just say right out, I get every wife across America that their husband is a college football coach loves recruiting now, because you can't travel. You're at home all the time, and I got to see my wife so much more this recruiting than I ever had before. But it was a super challenge. We had to change everything we did, the way that we attacked stuff, the way we communicated. So much Zoom, and where we used to be off campus, in person, and houses, all those things. Man, it just dissipated, and that was what we had to do. And I was like, whatever we have to do, guys, to get a great class, we're going to do it. And our coaches jumped on board, and man, we really crushed it, and they worked really hard. I'm really proud of them, and really happy with what we produced.
Were you surprised by even the size of this class? Because again, with not a lot of guys graduating, everybody can have that year back. You didn't have to get as many, but were you surprised to get as many athletes as you did?
Yeah, I was, and you just kind of look at numbers, obviously, in the Division II. You split things up a little bit, and so we were able to look at each position. I mean, 2 of the things that we really wanted to focus on was the DN and tight end position, depth-wise there. And then the other positions were just, let's continue to build on what we have and continue to recruit great players at those other positions. And we really, really hit home, and we're really fired up about just to get these kids on campus, and we've had them on campus. That's what was different is in this recruiting process, it's usually, you go there, you see them in person, you'll watch their film, you go to their high school, you don't get too much personal relationship stuff with them, whereas which COVID brought us to the kids and brought them closer, where we've had, I'd say 75% of these kids have been on our campus at least 3 or 4 times compared to 1 or 2 times. And we've met with them, and they've came, and we've got to see them work out, got to work with them individually. Our position coaches got to work with them one-on-one. Just the whole landscape of recruiting changed, and it was really beneficial. We're going to continue, when things do go back to normal, as they're starting to get back to normal, we're going to continue doing a lot of things that we did this year, because I think it made a huge difference.
Was there a trait you looked for with all these kids in this class? Was it speed? I know there's a lot of length and athleticism with this group. Was there a trait that you looked for?
I think every position's a little bit different in that one. We needed length at defensive end. You can't have a bunch of 6'1" defensive ends. We want to try to get some 6'4", 6'5" kids. So we found some really talented kids there. Tight end wise too, you got to, the shorter they are, there's not as much weight as are. It makes it a little bit different. The more surface you have, one of my coaches that I used to wear, the more surface you have, the harder you are to block, or the harder you are to it's easier to block. So those 2 positions we looked. I said, hey, let's focus on this height, let's focus on this weight, pretty close in this range, and go for it from there. But outside of that, it was. We needed speed. Like I said, every position is a little different. We're going to graduate some, and then we have some older corners, so we needed some really talented speed at the corner position. And being able to look, it was 2 years ago, track times. We got some track kids that can run really well and be able to do what the guys that we have now. So it just kind of differed from player to player and position to position.
14 different states, and again, right now, just 29 student athletes. I mean, you guys scoured the country and found the right fit for your program, didn't you?
We did, and that was one thing. And Missouri's got great football, but we're so close. I mean, to all these other states, Nebraska and Iowa, and I mean, Kansas is 15 minutes away, and then you're on the other side. And being able to spread out and create a larger pool for us on what we specifically want, I feel we're able to go out now as a football coach and as a program and as offense or defense and say, hey, I want exactly this. Instead, okay, well, he's a really good player, but his grades aren't that good. Well, now, when you spread out that far, you can find. I'll say to our coaching staff, you can't tell me you can't find a kid that's this good, that has this grade point average, that's going to be wanting to get his degree, and that's a really good human being. I mean, it's absolutely, it's awesome to be able to spread out. And now, that puts a lot of pressure on my coaching staff, but that's what we do here. I want pressure, and I want them to compete, and we're going to go as far as we have to find the kids that will fit and mold into what we want at Missouri Western.
And I know we talked about this year one when you had your first recruiting class. You had a lot of transfers that first year, but you wanted to make it so it was mainly high school kids. That's essentially what it is. You have some 4-year transfers, but some of those guys are going to be here for 4 years. So essentially they're high school kids anyway.
Yeah.
But that does show where your program's at, doesn't it?
100%. If I was still taking a bunch of transfers and you be asking me, well, you don't feel very secure about your job right now. I mean, because realistically, I feel great about what we have in the cupboard, and then what we just added with this class. We're going to be solid, very, very solid for the next 3 or 4 years with the last few classes that we've hit on.
My man, congratulations.
You the man.
Matt Williamson, a football coach of the Griffins. I'm Dave Riggert for Griffon Sports Insider.
Go Griffs.